your buddy Peace and Harmony here with you here today. Cognitive dissonance created by the narcissist or the psychopath. What I consider a very important topic here today. Looking at the state of cognitive dissonance that's both within, I would say, perceived within the mind of the narcissist, psychopath, as well as really what's created in the mind of the victim, who's been kind of engaged with this person, has kind of been battling them or engaged with them for some time, and they now are beginning to experience this state. And what I also kind of feel is an important manipulative tool that these such personality disordered individuals tend to utilize in order to get power over their target, the people who they're really, in a more or less, calculated manner, using to their end and kind of destroying people and their very own value system in the process. So cognitive dissonance is a psychological term. It's used to describe when two conflicting attitudes, values, beliefs are held simultaneously at the same time. And let's look at this example, how it might relate to that in the narcissist or the psychopath. And you might first perceive this within them first. You kind of might be motivated to ask them about this. You're treating this like a serious relationship, yet you won't invite me to the football game. And usually people who are close, they'll go to this and this football game together. Or the cognitive dissonance might occur when you feel, let's say for example, the narcissist or the psychopath has children, and you are their quote-unquote significant other, or their the person, their sweetheart, their main squeeze, and you notice that they're not really introducing you to the kids, they're not including you on holidays, birthdays, they're not inviting you to these sort of events, and this kind of tips you off to that maybe that something is wrong, and it's creating a state of what we call cognitive dissonance. There's a conflict between their behaviors and their statements. In other words, we're intimate partners, where everything is fantastic and wonderful, and we should be celebrating birthdays together, we should be going out, we should be doing things on the weekends, we should be, I should meet your kids, you should be comfortable to meet mine. You notice that there's a conflict between what they're saying and what they're doing. Hello, something's not right here, and you're, pretty soon you see the tip of this, and then it eventually becomes very clear and apparent to you. And then, where this continues to go on, this cognitive dissonance, which is, again, a very strong hallmark between the splitting behavior that we see in the narcissist or psychopath when they're saying one thing and doing another, or thinking in kind of extreme manners. We're experiencing, again, this in a state of cognitive dissonance, where we're feeling that something is really not, is really conflicting, especially when it comes to belief and really one's identity. This is where they really come on strong, or where they really start to really brainwash and create a lot of crazy making when they do this as well. And they create this in the mind of their other, or the target, or the victim. And the cognitive dissonance then occurs in you when you're now put into a perilous situation where you're kind of like going against your very own belief, you're going against your very own values as a sacrifice for them. So, and it expresses itself in many ways, and I hope to elaborate on many different examples of this in future videos as well. But for instance, the narcissist or psychopath, they're very keen on looking at, wow, this person, they really pride themselves on, their religion or their religious heritage. Yet then they go to try to get you to break down your very core beliefs that you hold for yourself. In other words, they might want you to, investigate different religions, or tell you that they're interested in different religions and why don't you become open-minded about this. So they'll get you, as part of their strategy, to create cognitive dissonance, again, that conflict within you between your values that you hold as really part of yourself or your identity, more or less, and then they get you to violate these very standards. And this is, again, a core manipulative technique that they get you to break down your core values, your core beliefs, and then begin that kind of gaslighting and brainwashing strategy, because they're getting you off of your foundation, your grounded status, use of all your senses that really have gone to create these values, which you generally will hold true and very dear to yourself. They'll get you to kind of dissolve these in these very interesting ways. What's another example? You are a very environmentally friendly person. You really want to respect the environment. Into recycling. Things of this nature. You hold this to be a personal core value of you. And then they'll try to flip that around so that they're either trying to get you to violate your beliefs, violate your standards. They'll do things that are contrary to yours, or get you to engage in behaviors that are contrary to your own personally held beliefs, and get you to change kind of your identity a little bit for them. And maybe, not worry so much about the environment. Don't worry, it doesn't really matter. The environment will heal itself. You might see other kind of exchanges go on like this. Other things, again, these relate to core emotional value levels that you have for yourself. For example, you consider yourself, you're a very gentle, loving, nurturing, kind person. You really value brotherhood, humanity, helping the less fortunate, helping others. You have a big heart. These are core and central to you. But yet, the narcissist or psychopath will find a way to push your buttons, annoy you, irritate you, but more so get you to violate your own internal personality characteristics. So that they're trying to pull out basically the worst of you, trying to create an aggressive side within you, trying to create a violent side within you, getting you to do things that would be contrary to those very core personality traits, and get you to basically sabotage yourself or deny the very personhood that you are, or act contrary to your beliefs. And in that, kind of destroy your personality, your character, that is the true you, that you feel, that is very adaptive and beneficial to you. So they do this in a way to get you to be really under their control by using these mechanisms, more or less. They apply these sort of techniques because they get you to violate your very own standards, and thus they have control over you. And a very good technique, once you step back, and as you're going through these videos and learning about these techniques, you can now begin to see and identify when they're engaging in these behaviors, these push-pull sort of behaviors, and the push-pull, but more, where they're trying to incite this conflict within you, and they're trying to incite conflict, create situations where you're not your true self and you're not acting out of what you generally hold to be true. They're trying to annihilate that. They really, really work very hard at getting you to really not only ruffle your feathers, but to an even deeper degree, where they're getting you to really violate your very own productive foundation and functionality. I think that's more important, is that the very mechanisms that help you function as a person, earn money, make friends, form relationships, communicate with people, share common insights, share common jokes, share laughs, form bonds. They get you to violate that very core within yourself, and it basically gets you to become what they're trying to develop or create in you is a bad person. They're really trying to destruct that core competency or humanity within yourself, which you really need to get in touch with as part of your healing. You need to separate yourself from this person. You need to separate yourself from their manipulative techniques, because they're going to continue, and they're going to continue stronger and stronger if they're continuing to target you. So, especially if this is a person who you have to be connected to by a family, a job, proximity, etc. You really need to evaluate how strong your well needs to be in relation to them, and you really need to focus on your healing so that you're not incited into this anger and and further abuse from them, because they're definitely targeting and trying and perpetrating you to act out of your character, which is not a very good motivation. However, this is how these people are. As I've said in previous videos, it's business as usual for them. So you have to let them go. Cherish yourself. Go through, your days prayerfully and with gratitude for all the wonderful qualities that you are, and your strength and stability that you're going to gain now that you're getting more and more clear of them, more and more healed from them. Peace and harmony here with you here today. Please share these and subscribe for more great tools, videos, and discussions. Make it a beautiful day. Bye-bye.